Okay, so this morning's video is going to be firearms related. I'm going to be taking a couple of brand new Windham weaponries out and seeing how they do. But um, first off, in this video, I just want to say that I'm coming off another YouTube ban. They took down one of my videos and gave me a strike, said I couldn't post for a week. I was sent to my room without dinner. I've been made to stand in a corner, facing the corner. But my punishment is soon coming to an end. But if you're wondering, if you're not aware of Section 232, maybe you've heard about it, but you didn't really look into it. This pile of garbage, this abomination was passed by Congress in the late 90s, I believe, early 2000s. And basically what it does is it gives these media platforms, these big tech, all kinds of protection as far as censorship goes. They can basically take down and censor whatever they want to. And if you read this last part here at the beginning, it'll say whether such material is constitutionally protected or not. So in my case, firearms related content usually. And even if it flies in the face of the Second Amendment, they don't have to post a video. So anyway, I'm not going to get into all and every last detail of Section 230, but it's an absolute mess. But if we go down here, you'll see something that just recently happened out of Texas. And it's kind of like, thank God for Texas. But yeah, this is a Wikipedia site here. And so what happened was Texas passed HB 20, which says that the state of Texas is going to allow people to sue YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, for censorship. And initially it got struck down, but the Fifth Circuit just recently came in and reversed the district court decision that originally struck HB 20 down and said, nope, you can sue these platforms. And so anyway, that was a Fifth Circuit court ruling that just got reversed here in September. So anyway, it looks like this 230 garbage may be heading to the Supreme Court. And if it gets there, I'm pretty confident that the Supreme Court's going to rule against Section 230 or parts of it or most of it or maybe hopefully all of it and strike this garbage down. And when that happens, the floodgates are going to open. These platforms, if they censorship and stifle people's free speech and they get rid of this carte blanche that these people can operate on. I mean, if you think about it, if they can censor whatever they want, I mean, how does that affect elections? How does that affect beyond the actual content of the video? So, yeah, anyway, I'm kind of hopeful that once it gets to the Supreme Court, this pile of crap will be undone. Okay, well, let's get on with the actual firearms video. Okay, so what we have is two identical Windham weaponries, A2 government profile barrels. And these rifles are identical except for two things. One of them has a 1-in-9 twist barrel and the other one has a 1-in-7 twist barrel. Windham just started making the 1-in-9 twist again. So I thought it would be kind of interesting to me to get the 1-in-9 also. And they offered them about 3 years ago, maybe longer, and then they just quit offering them. And here in about the last 6 months, they started selling the 1-in-9 twist again. And then the only other difference between the two rifles is this 1-in-9 twist has a Rock River Arms A2 buttstock. And when I put this lower together, and then when I got the Rock River Arms, the packaging was identical. So I'm pretty sure that Windham Weaponry and Rock River Arms are getting their A2 buttstock kits from the same place. And other than that, I really couldn't tell any difference. Other than one of the buffer tubes is just slightly shinier than the other one. But other than that, they're identical. So this is what we'll be shooting today. We're going to be shooting some 55 grain, 62, 68, and 75. I brought my scope out today, so hopefully we can get out to about 100 yards. And one of the things I was kind of interested in is to see on the 1 and 9 within, you know, at about 100 yards, if there's going to be any issues as far as accuracy, or if the it looks like maybe the bullets are becoming unstable, which is highly unlikely at 100 yards. I don't think we're going to see any difference in bullet stability. I'm thinking maybe the only thing that's going to change is maybe some group size. But anyway, that's kind of one of the reasons we're out here, is to find out and get the first few rounds through this 1 and 9 twist. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do this morning is we're going to verify our zeros at the standard Army 25 meters. So I have the small peep up, I have the drums set on the Z setting, and then after you do that, you adjust your elevation by the front sight post. And the only thing you're going to adjust back here at this point right now is for windage. And then after we get things dialed in at 25 meters, then we'll start doing the ammunition comparison. Okay, so I apologized, wind's picking up, so it's getting a little breezy if you hear some camera noise. Something I wanted to explain about my shooting style off the bench when I'm trying to shoot for some accuracy. And I'm pretty loose behind the rifle anyway, but what I do is when I pull this trigger, I am just pulling this trigger just ever so slightly, just enough to get it to break. And then what happens is, as the rifle recoils, my finger comes off the trigger. And some people think that if they're not studying what's going on, they think that I'm jerking the trigger, but I'm really not. Now, I have a whole different style of shooting. If I'm running and gunning, operator, combat mode, or whatever, I have a whole different trigger style. But when I'm shooting off the bench, what works for me is just to keep the buttstock kind of loose on my shoulder, and I just pull that trigger just enough to get it to break. So I'm not trying to accomplish any follow through and keep the trigger squeezed back until I slowly let it back into reset. So I just wanted to vindicate myself, because I've had a couple of comments from other viewers, and they thought I'm jerking the trigger, but that's not really what's going on. Okay, well, let's get some shooting done. Okay, normally I wear safety glasses. I've already put a few rounds to the rifle, so I don't think it's coming unglued anytime soon. This is 1 and 9 twist, 55 grain, and we're at 25 meters. I'm just trying to get a good zero going. All right, let's go see where we're hitting. May have to make some adjustments. Like I said, brand new rifle. First 3 shots, other than a few test rounds I fired. Okay, not bad. I'm going to come over on windage a couple clicks and down a couple clicks, and we should be right there. Okay, so I moved the front sight post up, which will move the point of impact down, and I've adjusted the windage over to the right. So I'm not really looking to get like dead nuts today. This brand new rifle, it needs a little break-in time anyway, but we'll get it close. Okay, 55 grain again, 1 and 9 twist, and might help if I chambered around. Okay, let's see if we do any better. Okay, so I think windage is pretty good. I'm gonna adjust the front sight to bring this up, probably just like one click on the front sight, and we're gonna call this good. Okay, so I went one more click on the front sight, like I was saying, down at the target, and you can see that the front sight post is literally almost flush. At least I hope the camera's picking that up. So that's like perfect. And then back here, and I don't know if there's too much glare, but the tick mark on the rear sight aperture here and the tick mark on the carry handle are lined up perfectly. So we're at 0, 25 meters. Everything is aligned perfectly. So pretty happy with this Windham setup. Okay, so all I'm going to do with the 1-7 today is 55 grain, and I'm just going to check the 25 meter 0. And then I think most people know that 1-7 twist shoots 62 grain and above pretty well. Some people say that 55 grain in a 1-7 can be a little flaky. I've never had that experience. All my 1-7s have shot 55 grain pretty well, but I generally shoot within 300 yards, so maybe that's the issue they're seeing is getting out to distance. So like I said, we'll get this zeroed up, and then that's going to be it for this rifle today. And then we're going to get back on the 1-9 twist and put the scope on it and get out to 100, and then I'm going to try different weights just to see what happens. And like I was saying, within 100 yards, I don't expect to see anything other than nice round holes and point of impact changes, but we'll see. Okay, so I've checked all the brass, especially took a close look at the brand new 1-9 twist. Everything looks good, so no issues with the brass. Okay, so that's the Winchester White Box 55 grain, 3 rounds pretty much in the same hole, and that's the 1-7 twist barrel. So I'm going to come over a little bit on windage and come up a few clicks. We'll take another 3 rounds just to see if that was a bunch of lucky shots. Okay, so this was my last 3 shots with the 1-7 twist Windham, 2 in the same hole and 1 down here. And when I shot that one, I kind of felt it a little bit. I won't say I jerked the trigger, got way out of shape, but that was me. I think I could have actually if I would have pulled that last one. Okay, so we're going to call the 1-7 good, and we're going to start experimenting with the 1-9 twist now with the heavier bullet weights at 100 yards with a scope. Okay, so on the 1-7 twist, 55 grain, I ended up just below flush on the front sight, and then once again, just like the 1-9 twist, the rear marks are almost perfectly aligned. So I'll say one thing, Windham's definitely shoot straight, at least the 2 I got. All right, let's get out to 100 yards. Okay, so this is Citron S-Tac 3x16. Pretty good scope, I think, for the money. Haven't had any issues with it. Got this little pop-up throw lever. Glass is pretty good. I've used this scope quite a bit over the years. I haven't had any issues with it as far as holding 0. And we're still at 25 meters. I'm just going to fire a few rounds with the scope on here to see where we're hitting, and then we'll get it out. Okay, that's the first 3 shots with the Citron. I wasn't trying to shoot for a lot of accuracy. I just kind of wanted to see where it hit. And we need some adjustment. A lot. Okay, we got some 62 grain loaded up. When I was at 25 meters trying to zero the scope, I didn't have these adjusted snug enough. It seemed like it was tight when I first put the scope on, but after I fired those shots, I grabbed a hold of the scope and I was able to move it a little bit, so that's what was causing me trouble. But anyway, I got it kind of zeroed pretty close off camera. So we're at 100 yards now to see what this 62 grain does. I'm not really looking for a lot of accuracy today. Once again, it's a brand new rifle. But I am just kind of curious to see if there's going to be any bullet stability issues the higher up in weight we go. So we're starting off at 62 and we're going to end up at 68 and 75. Okay, so that's 62 grain, 1 and 9 twist Windham. Holes look nice and round. I'm going to have to adjust my scope way down again. Probably should not have adjusted it for a 0 at 25 meters. I should have set it for about down here somewhere. So anyway, we'll make a final adjustment. I fired 2 rounds just to see where it was going to hit. So we'll get the scope adjusted and see if we can at least get closer to the bullseye. Okay, so I came down 12 clicks, which is probably less than I needed for 62, but we went up to 68 grain. And I may have to face facts. I suck with a scope. I usually shoot pretty good within 200 yards with iron sights. I've never really gotten good with a scope. Damn bugs. Had a bug flew into my eye right when I pulled the trigger. All right, let's go see what the holes look like on 68 grain. Okay, so 68 grain. Getting a little ragged right there. Now, I don't know if that's just because of the crease, but I kind of noticed that maybe these holes aren't quite as good, but it could be the tape too. All right, let's move on with the 75 grain. Okay, so this is 75 grain. I need a better rest. Okay, so this is one of the shots with the 75 grain. It was actually completely on paper, and I pulled that one pretty bad. So I think our takeaways are for 100 yards on a 1 and 9 twist, at least the one I got, there's no appreciable bullet stability issues. I'm pretty sure once you get out further, 200-300 yards, maybe you're going to start seeing some stability problems. But what I found out today was at 100 yards, the bullets are stable. The other thing I found out today is I need more practice with a scope, and I need a better rest. That wonky Caldwell rest I'm using, the rifle's just No matter how I try to hold it, it's just dancing around all over the place. Okay, well, I think I found out what I needed to find out. Pete, North Las Vegas, over and out.